Hey folks, just want to very quickly say I realized after filming this video, or the segments of this video, that I was pronouncing the name of the city wrong the whole time. I was saying Bydgoszcz because I was pronouncing the Y as if it's Russian. And in Russian, the letter Y, or what looks like a letter Y, makes an U sound. But of course, Polish is not Russian, and the actual proper pronunciation of the city is Bydgoszcz. It's actually like the English word bid. So please enjoy a video about Bydgoszcz.
Welcome everyone to Bydgoszcz, which is in Poland. This is actually my first video in Poland, I believe, and it's kind of funny because I have often begun various videos in various contexts by saying Yikshimush, but that's actually something that I stole from Borat, because Borat often begins his skits or segments by saying exactly that. But this is probably the first time that it's actually appropriate, because Yikshimush literally means "how are you" in Polish. Contrary to Borat's claim that it's Kazakh, it is actually Polish, as is dziękuję, which is something else he often says, which means thank you. So yeah, this is Bydgoszcz, and actually you can see, I don't know what that building over there is, but if you look at the sign there, it is commemorating 100 years of Bydgoszcz belonging to Poland, because I guess this territory used to belong to Germany, or I guess back then maybe it was Prussia or whatever, but yeah, this is in the part of Poland that didn't used to be Poland, and you can see the architecture is a bit mixed. So this right here is the center, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get out of here pretty quickly, because this is like the tourist area, and tourism is okay. Tourism is nice. Like, I'm not against tourism specifically. I mean, I'm here as a tourist myself, obviously, but I tend to not like very touristy places. I tend to not like places which mostly cater to tourists, and Bydgoszcz is one of the most touristy places that I've seen in Poland. The most touristy place in Poland, in my opinion, is Krakow. Here's I don't really know what this is supposed to represent, but down there it says something about Chodził ofiarą fascism, I guess, and obviously the dates there, the years there, are the years of World War II, so I guess this is something about the victims of fascism during World War II. A lot of memorials, like a striking number of memorials in Poland, are about World War II. That's kind of, I don't mean to be cruel, but that's like a lot of their history. A lot of Poland's history seems to be wrapped around those 6 years. Actually, it's 7 years, because there was a 1939, 1940, and then 41 to 45. So, oh, car coming. So I haven't made a video about Poland before, for various reasons. I've been to Poland several times before, and it's generally not been a very positive experience. It's a pretty nice church. I like this church here. And I don't want to say negative things about places anymore. I think the first time that I really said something very negative about a place I went to was when I went to Prague in Czechia. And I didn't really like it because it was so touristy. And like I said, you know, I'm a tourist myself, but if a place has so many tourists that it's difficult to walk around, like you literally can't walk because of the giant mass of tourists that are just crushing around you, that's a bit uncomfortable. That's kind of an unpleasant experience, and I didn't really like Prague, and I said as much in my video of it. And since then, I thought, you know, I think I probably upset a lot of people with that, because people don't like to hear their countries or their cities or whatever, you know, places that they identify with, or even places that they like. People don't like to hear these places denigrated. And who am I as some outsider just spending like a day, just some tourist taking a day trip somewhere? Who am I to figuratively poop on a place and say, well, this place is terrible and I don't like it? So generally speaking, if I've not enjoyed a place, I've just decided to not make a video of it. I think that's probably, I don't know if that's I was going to say that's probably the better policy. I don't know if that's the better policy, but at least that's the policy that I've kind of taken since I was in Prague. And I've been to Warsaw, which is the capital and largest city of Poland, 3 times now, and every time it's just been pretty negative. And so I haven't wanted to say anything about it, because I know I have some fans who are Polish, and I don't want to upset those people by saying negative things about their country or their capital city or anything like that, because you know, what's the point of that? And then I was in Krakow, and Krakow is much nicer than Warsaw, like much nicer. Like they almost feel like completely different countries. But Krakow is also very touristy, and so I didn't really like it. It's a nice city, but I didn't really have much to say about it other than, yeah, it's a tourist paradise. I wouldn't say I disliked it, but it didn't really, I don't know. I came away from Krakow not feeling great about it. It's just like, yeah, okay, it's a tourist paradise. It's a place with a lot of tourists and tourist attractions. So, you know, sort of the irony, or one of the ironies of being a tourist. When you are a tourist, you want to go to a place that would appeal to you as a tourist, but that does not have a lot of other people who are tourists, which is sort of a non sequitur. If a place appeals to tourists, it follows that there probably will be a lot of them there. So, but I like this place because it's tourist friendly. It's a beautiful city, as hopefully you can already see, but there aren't a lot of tourists here. And today's a beautiful day. When I woke up, actually, the sky was pretty much clear. Now there are some clouds forming. It's pretty windy. I don't know if you can hear the wind against the camera microphone, but it's a pretty windy day. The weather forecast is saying that it should rain later today, so I thought I'd better go out as early as I can. So it's like, wow, it's already 9:15. I got out later than I had breakfast at my hotel, and I guess I should have left earlier than I did. Darn it. Oh well, it's only 9:15. I mean, the day is still fairly young, but I wanted to go out a little earlier than that because it is supposed to rain later today, according to the weather forecast, and I wanted to shoot some video before it started raining. But anyway, I'll film what I can. So, about the structure of Bydgoszcz, and yeah, it's actually, apparently the pronunciation at the end really does have that sh. It's kind of funny, there's that letter in the Cyrillic alphabet, which I know from Russian, because I've studied Russian a bit. There's a letter in Russian which supposedly makes that sound. People say that it makes a sh sound, but it really doesn't. If you hear Russian speakers pronounce it, it's more like just a sh, not sh. You have to differentiate. There's a sh and there's a sh. They're different sounds. Don't mix them up. They're different letters. They're different sounds in Russian. But in Polish, when you see that, when you see these 4 letters, it really does make a sh sound. So there's like a separate sh, and then there's a ch, sh, Bydgoszcz. And yeah, I don't know any Polish. I don't know anything about Polish other than what I've said from Borat, jak się masz and dziękuję. But a lot of people here say, everybody here greets me by saying dzień dobry, which means good day. It's like guten Tag in German. And I'm just a little hesitant about answering them back the same way. I mean, I can say dzień dobry back, but then they'll probably assume that I speak Polish. And that's... I was debating whether I should recommend in this video that you learn to say dzień dobry, because then you can greet people back, you can say hi to people, and then people will think you're a local. But then, of course, you run the risk that if you do that, people will think you speak Polish. And if they then start speaking Polish to you and you say, oh, sorry, I don't actually speak Polish, then it's a little embarrassing and a little awkward. And yeah, I have that problem a lot. I have the problem, I'm good at mimicking language sounds. I tend to be relatively good at pronouncing languages in a fairly convincing way. That just seems to be a talent that I have. And it creates the problem if you're in a foreign place where you don't speak the local language, but you can say something, like you can say a couple of words or a phrase convincingly, then even if people don't think you're a native speaker, they might at least think that you know enough of the language to communicate, and then they'll start speaking to you. And it's always so awkward. Like here in Poland, I was at the train station trying to book a ticket, and I just said a few words in Polish because I was able to say like something in Polish. I think I just said the name of the city. I think I just said I want to go to this city. It wasn't Bydgoszcz. Or actually, no, it was Bydgoszcz. That's right. It was that was when I was in Łódź. which is another funny thing. So yesterday I was in Łódź, and if you look at how the city name is spelled, it looks like Lodz. L-O-D-Z or Z at the end. So it looks like Lodz or maybe Lodge, but no, it's something like Łódź, because the L is not actually an L, it's the Polish L with a line through it, which is pronounced more like a W. So the city is actually called Łódź, which is completely counterintuitive and not at all what you would think if you look at the name. Oh yeah, this here is the Opera Nova. It's the new opera. This is the new opera house. I haven't gone and seen an opera here, and probably won't, but yeah. So Bydgoszcz is kind of on an island. Well, it's not really. It's actually, I don't think it's actually an island. This part here looks kind of like an island on a map, but it's not, because it's connected to land on the south side. So it's more like a peninsula, kind of like what. Oh, this bridge this is another of those bridges where people attach a bunch of locks. Kind of a popular thing to do on many bridges. I think that bridge in Paris, which became popular for that, I think the city of Paris actually removed all the locks because it was becoming a problem. I think some bridge actually had a structural failure. I don't know if it was in Paris or somewhere else, but there was some bridge that actually experienced a structural failure because people had attached so many locks to it, and the locks were so heavy that they exceeded the design weight tolerance of the bridge. So yeah, don't do that actually. Don't put locks on a bridge because they might get removed anyway. And if people put too many locks on the bridge, it can actually cause the bridge to collapse. It sounds funny, but it's true. If you put that many locks on a bridge and it's not designed to take all that weight, it will eventually collapse. What was I saying? That's right. So this part here, which I'm pointing the camera at, is a not really an island, but I think it's a peninsula. Germans would call it a Halbinsel, a half island, which is the German word for a peninsula. But it looks kind of like an island because it's surrounded by this river, and it sort of forms a little enclave of nice touristy activity. Let's see. I don't want to disturb these workers. Let's get away from the river here for a bit. I am here in the time of Corona. So Poland very recently, I think it was just about a week ago, that Poland reopened the border with Germany, and so I was able to come here to Poland. The timing was very fortuitous because I had booked my vacation for this week anyway, so just so happened that that they opened the border right around the time that I was supposed to take my vacation anyway. But it is still the time of coronavirus, and you do still see a lot of people wearing masks. I'm not wearing one right now, just because I'm talking to the camera and there's nobody else around me, so that's okay. But in crowded places, I will put my mask on. But I don't want to get too close to those workers because, partly because of that, and partly also because I think they wouldn't appreciate being filmed. Some people don't appreciate being filmed. And I usually try to be very conscious about whom I point my camera at. Unless I'm in a crowded street scene where you can't avoid it. I mean, obviously if you're on a busy street, you can't avoid getting some people in the frame. But yeah, so you can see there are some clouds building up there. Like I said, it's supposed to rain later today. Now, here's the thing. I've just taken a few steps away from the river. I've just climbed up that staircase away from the river. And already there's a markedly different feel to the city. It's no longer a beautiful, lush green paradise. Now it's becoming more like when you've got this parking lot here with the cracking pavement and the faded markings. If you look down that street, you can see the buildings are not in, some of the buildings are not in great repair. Over there you can just see some generic apartment blocks where the paint's peeling off, and obviously the buildings haven't been renovated in decades, maybe even 100 years, who knows. Okay, probably not 100 years. 100 years ago was before World War II, so okay, it's probably less than 100 years since these buildings have been renovated or repainted, but I mean, the construction and the condition of the city outside of this tourist center is just so different. It feels like a completely different city. And that's the thing. That's why I was, even here, I was hesitant to make this video because, you know, you've got this really wonderful, really beautiful sort of center. But then outside of that, it's just it's just not the same city at all. It feels totally different. And I don't know, man. Again, I don't want to say anything negative about this place because, you know, I don't really feel like traveling through all the cities of Europe and just filming everything and then saying, what a dump, I hate being here. But outside of that, you know, sort of peninsula of tourist-friendly, nice-looking construction, the rest of Bydgoszcz is not as it's not as nice to look at. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to try and film a little bit along the along a couple of the main streets of the city, just so you can see what they're like. But yeah, the city's fairly small. I mean, it's not one of Poland's biggest cities. Well, I guess it's one of Poland's top 10 biggest cities, but it's not nearly as big as Warsaw or Krakow. But I'll film what I can, and let's see what we can find here. Okay, here we are. So I've walked a little bit, and I am now at the south end of Gdańska Street. Gdańsk being another city in Poland. So that way is south. Well, you can't really see very well now because this tram is blocking it, but there we go. So that back there, that's the half island. That's the old town where I started, and I'm now at the south end of Gdańska Street. And let's just walk around here. This is one of the main streets of Bydgoszcz. So I'm gonna. Here I probably can't avoid getting people on camera, so I hope people don't mind too much. Never really know how some people don't react to it well, especially people who are not used to tourists. And I don't know how. I mean, this area here, you can already see it's like a completely different mood. It feels like a totally different city. It doesn't feel like another district of the same city. It feels like a different country, actually. And I mean, there are some touristy things here. Like here's a museum, obviously, which I think is closed. Looks like it's closed for construction. But I mean, obviously there are some things that might appeal to tourists here as well. But it's yeah, the mood here is totally different. Here it feels more like a typically Slavic city. In fact, if I didn't know that I were in Poland, and if it weren't for that Polish flag hanging there on from the window on the right, could probably believe that I were in Moscow or St. Petersburg or some Russian city, because this is really not that distinguishable from a typical Eastern European city. Let me actually cross the street here, because it seems like there might be some more room on this side, and also okay, I was wondering what's this building. It's the Bydgoszcz Centrum Finansowe, the Bydgoszcz Financial Center. Okay, probably not a tourist attraction, but a nice looking building nonetheless. I don't know who that gentleman is here in this mural on the wall. Oh, maybe it says Rejewski Marian? Is that a... Okay, probably some Polish poet or writer or something like that. So yeah, this street, Gdańska Street, is one of the main streets of Bydgoszcz outside of that old town where I was. And there's some nice stuff to see here, but it's not really very tourist friendly. There's a bookstore. Księgarnia is the Polish word for a bookstore, so that's nice. I like bookstores. Actually, I might go in there and check it out. It looks like a nice bookstore. Yeah, this is, like I said, this is the first time that I've been moved to make a video about a Polish city, just because this is a place that I kind of like. Like I was saying, Warsaw is bizarre. Usually the capital city and largest city is the biggest tourist attraction in most countries. Let's go down the street for a bit and see what's here, because I see what looks like a park or something down here. That might be a nice place to looks like it might be a nice place to walk around for a bit. Yeah, Warsaw is you'd think that there'd be something there to appeal to tourists, but there just isn't really a lot. And Krakow is totally the opposite. It's so super touristy that it doesn't seem to have much to appeal to non-tourists. And then so those are the two largest cities in Poland, Krakow and Warsaw's the first and Krakow's the second. And then the third is Łódź, which I mentioned before. That's where I was yesterday. And Łódź, my goodness, Łódź does not seem to have anything that appeals to either tourists or locals or anybody. It doesn't seem to have any reason to exist. And again, I'm sorry to say this, because, you know, there's always the possibility that someone from Łódź, or who has at least some kind of connection with Łódź, will watch this video and get upset by what I'm saying, and I don't want to say negative things about anything that, you know, people might feel attached to, but oh my goodness, Łódź is just like, there's nothing. There's nothing there. It doesn't even feel like a city. It just feels like some suburb with some random buildings thrown together. So, you know, I don't want to just like walk around the city for an hour and point my camera and everything and say, wow, this place sucks, because I don't think that's much fun for people to watch. Like, who would enjoy watching a video like that? So I'm trying not to say negative things about the places that I go to, and if I don't have anything positive to say, then I'm trying to just adhere to the idea of, if you don't have anything nice to say, then just don't say anything. So that's what I've been trying to do lately, and that's part of the reason why I haven't been making any videos about Poland. That's nice. Bezpłatny miejski internet. Free city internet. I don't speak Polish, but I understand a few words. And bezpłatny is free, like as in free of cost in Russian, so it's obviously the same in Polish. It's nice being able to speak at least one Slavic language, because then you can understand a lot of other Slavic languages, because they do share a lot of vocabulary. This is really nice. This is actually quite wonderful. I have to say, let me say something nice about Poland. Poles are really good at creating natural areas like this. They're not very good at building cities. Like, I don't have very good experiences with Polish cities in general. But if you go to like rural Poland is lovely. They build really nice houses. They have very nice sort of farmsteads and things, and then natural areas like this, like parks. Like Poland has wonderful parks, city parks in their cities. So natural areas, more countrified kind of areas, Poland does very well. They're not good at cities. Kind of like Ukrainians. Ukraine is the same. Ukraine doesn't really have a lot of great cities, except for Kiev. But Kiev and, well, there's Kiev and there's Lvov or Lviv, depending on whether you want the Ukrainian or Russian pronunciation. Those are nice cities, but neither of them are really distinctly Ukrainian. Kiev is a very old city, which predates Ukrainian identity, and Lvov or Lviv is more of a... it used to be a Polish city. Actually, I think it used to be Austro-Hungarian. Wasn't it part of Austria-Hungary for a while? I don't know. I don't remember the history, but it's not really a Ukrainian city. But yeah, Poles and Ukrainians both, they're not good at cities, but they do really well with sort of more rural areas. They do very well with country settings, and they make it very nice. So yeah, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, I guess. So yeah, this is a wonderful park, and there are other nice things to see here as well. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a terrible place. Like it's not like Bydgoszcz is a terrible place to be. It's just there's just not much that really appeals outside of that one tourist center. Outside of the center where they have a lot of touristy things, it's not necessarily the most beautiful city or the most appealing place. And yeah. This is actually pretty cool. What is going on here? So it looks like these are two totally separate statues. So this is a bear dragging a bear cub by the scruff of its neck, and this is what is going on here? I can't even. I cannot interpret this at all. It's like, so there's a naked guy holding a naked woman under his arm, and then there's some other naked guy crawling up this rock, and then or climbing up the rock, and then there's a baby grabbing onto a woman. Oh, and then there's another sculpture here of I know this is probably terribly disrespectful, but it doesn't this look just a bit like hentai? Okay. I'm a little embarrassed. I'm just a little bit embarrassed because I'm terribly ignorant of where I am. Like I don't know anything about this city, and so I feel very much like an ignorant tourist, just pointing my camera around and carelessly making simultaneously ignorant and derogatory remarks about where I am. And I'm sure a lot of people are just saying, well, then why do you come here, bozo? I mean, why do you bother going to these places if you don't like it? I do like it here. I'm not saying I don't like it here. It's just it's Is that a real Oh. I thought there was a guy sitting on that bench over there, but I think it's actually a statue of a guy sitting on the bench. A lot of places do that. They'll have statues of some famous personage sitting on benches in cities. Go around and try to get a look at it without filming this woman who's sitting looking at her mobile phone. There we go. Yeah, it's a statue of Professor Dr. Hab. I don't know what Hab stands for. Zygmunt Mackiewicz, Doctor Honoris Causa. So, what was he? Oh, chirurg. Okay, he was a surgeon. Okay, I see. Oh, and he also has a smaller statue of that bear carrying another bear. So I guess that's somehow associated with him. Okay, that's nice. So I guess he was some kind of professor of surgery, or surgical medicine, or whatever. Okay, yeah, so this is quite nice. I mean, this park is nice, but let me see if I can get back into the city. I'm gonna pause for a bit and get back to the city and see what else I can find there. I guess here's my answer. Remember I asked before who is Marian Rejewski? Well, here's your answer. He was a Bydgoszczanin, which in English means he was a citizen of Bydgoszcz, and he was an eminent mathematician and brilliant cryptographer. Actually, you can see in both Polish and German they use the adverb genial, which means genius, so like genius cryptographer and breaker of the Enigma code. And here he is, or not the man himself, but a statue of him sitting next to what I guess is probably a likeness of the Enigma machine, and he appears to be looking at, what is he looking at? He has some mathematical formula scribbled on his notepad there. Yeah, there we go. Also, you might notice the German plaque calls him a Bromberger. Bromberg is the German name for Bydgoszcz, which is not much used today, but I guess Germans still know the city under that name. So yeah, Bydgoszcz, aka Bromberg. So I'm here, I'm still walking down Gdańska Street. That's where I found that statue of the genius cryptographer over there. So I'm still walking northbound on Gdańska Street, and I've come across Augusta Cieskowskiego Street. Let's stroll down here for a bit, just because it looks nice. This is obviously a smaller side street with less traffic, and I don't really much enjoy walking along a street with a lot of traffic. It's kind of unpleasant. It's noisy, and it's distracting, so let's just take a stroll down here for a bit. You can see those clouds in the background are definitely building up, and I'm definitely walking into a strong wind, so yeah, it feels like it's going to rain soon. But let's see what we can find while we're here. Yeah, this is nice. This is a nice little, very pleasant little quiet street with not much going on here, but this is cool. This is a nice place to go walking. Probably not very interesting to watch on video, though. It's probably not. Like, I don't think a lot of people tune into videos like this to watch somebody walking down a street like this. I mean, there's on the left I have a gynecologist's office and a lawyer's office. Definitely thrilling tourist sites for sure. But yeah, it's just so disparate. That's the thing. Like, you get, in many places, I mean, in most countries, of course, you have poorer areas and you have wealthier areas. You have some parts of the city which are really nice, really lushly constructed and very good looking. And then you have parts which are just kind of like, they're kind of dumpy. Buildings are in bad shape. Streets all cracked up, and it's just not nice to walk there. But in Poland, man, it's the lines are so distinct. Like, sometimes you just walk across the street and it feels like you're in a different country, like you've just crossed over from some war-torn, impoverished, developing country into like one of the wealthiest suburbs that you could imagine. And here it's just like, yeah, this is nice. I mean, these buildings are great. I'm assuming these are residential buildings, at least some of them. I mean, people live here. I assume people live in these buildings. And this looks like just a really nice, quiet neighborhood. There's not too much traffic on the streets or on the street. If you ever get into legal trouble, there are several lawyers' offices here, so just walk down the street and go to a lawyer and get some legal counsel. And here at the end of the street, there's this church. This is a pretty nice looking church. This is of red brick kind of style, which you don't see very much in... I associate this style more with the north. Like, I see a lot of these red brick buildings in northern countries, like obviously England is associated with this kind of construction, as is, I think, Denmark and parts of northern Germany. But yeah, this is nice. I like the construction of that church. And the rest here is just, yeah, and then you get a building like this, which looks like it hasn't been repainted in the last 50 years. Okay, well, that was it. Nice area is over. Now we're back to now we're back to urban decay. Okay, I've gone back a bit. So this street here is, again, Gdańska Street. That's going off towards the south. And this is going off towards the north. And there's a pretty cool church spire back there. And there's a nice plan okolicy here, which I guess means plan of the locality or local area map. So, yeah, I mean, there's obviously more stuff to see here, but what I wanted to do is walk down, this street here. So this is Dworcowa Street. This is, I guess, the other main street here in Bydgoszcz. So there's Gdańska and then there's Dworcowa. So let's walk around this street and see what we can find here. Okay, it's obviously not... Okay, it becomes immediately obvious that it's not as major of a street because you have all these cars parked here on the sidewalk and there's not much traffic here, so... I was under the impression that this is one of the main streets, but I think this is like a... Okay, I think I get the idea. Gdańska is the main traffic street, and this is, I guess, the main shopping district. Most cities have like one big shopping street, which is full of, you know, like shops for people to shop in, and they're usually reduced traffic because they're made for people to walk down to do like window shopping in. Okay, I get it. So this is the pedestrian shopping street, and then Gdańska is it's like the main drag, the main traffic street for cars to drive around. Okay, that makes sense. Most cities have one of each. In many cities, it's the same street, but here it appears that they have them separately. So there's actually not much to see here. This is. I like that the street is quiet. Like there's not too much going on here. But it probably makes it not very interesting to watch on film. And there's not much here in the way of sights. This is really just like shopping, and not even particularly interesting shopping, because I mean, it's just restaurants and clothing stores and stuff like that. Eksperci finansowi, financial experts. So if you're a tourist wanting some Polish financial experts, I guess you know where to come. Okay. Another clothing store. Monetu. Is that money or... I don't know. Oh, here's a travel agency if you want to travel somewhere else. That appears to be a sex shop. Always a useful commodity wherever you are. Oh, and here we have the the local Honorarkonsul of the Bundesrepublik Deutschland, the local German consulate. Oh yeah, and I see this everywhere. Żabka. Żabka is a very actually, I see it less here, but in Łódź, in Łódź, Żabka is ubiquitous. You see it on almost every street corner. It's like the ubiquitous corner store you go to buy just like quickie mart stuff if you want just like a beer or a pack of chewing gum or whatever. Yeah, and there's some local graffiti and stuff. Okay, this doesn't look too interesting to film. I was hoping that this would be something more interesting, but this is just like a walk along shopping street. There's nothing really. It doesn't look like there's really much here to look at. So okay, I'm gonna head back. I think this is enough. Yeah, I'm sorry everyone. I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna head back to the old town where I started from. Okay, so I'm back here at the old town again. So I'm just north of the river, and that over there is the nice old town. Or there you can see another building in that sort of half timbered style, which there are a few of here in the old town. So I'm going to go ahead and cross the river. Yesterday when I walked over this bridge, there were more people trying to appeal to tourists. There was actually some guy busking, playing on the guitar. There was actually a guy here, some Polish, well, I assume he was a Polish guy, who was actually performing.
That's where your father was the manager there.
Who was performing "Blank Space" by Taylor Swift. And I thought, yeah, really, dude, that song works a little bit differently when a guy sings it. Well, actually, I guess it shouldn't. I mean, really, I guess it should work the same for both men and women, but, you know, singing a song about being an obsessive lover, it's not quite the same thing. Here appears to be some sort of person, yeah, like a tightrope walker balancing on that cable over the river. Doing a pretty good job of it considering that they're a statue. And yeah, let's continue on. Over there, that white building is the new opera where I was before. So yeah, I don't have a lot more to say about this place. I mean, really, I know it's a nice place. I just feel a little bit, I feel like it's just a bit inappropriate for me to really say much about this place because, you know, and I mean, like, you know, I don't want to say it, but, you know, this kind of construction, this sort of half-timbered construction with the black timbers, black timber frame filled in with I guess cement, which is obviously a very sort of stereotypically German design. It's strongly associated with Germany. As somebody who lives in Germany, I feel like it's very inappropriate for me to say that the nice parts of the city seem like the German parts. Yeah, this sign is. I mean, this area is obviously touristy because you can see the lower half of the sign is in English, which is generally a dead giveaway that it's a tourist area. I mean, it feels very inappropriate for me to say that the nice parts of the city seem German and the not nice parts seem not German. I just don't know what else to say because, you know, it's such a mixed bag here. Like some parts of Bydgoszcz, they're so nice, they're so beautiful and well maintained, and then some parts are just so bad and so you know, decrepit, and it's just like, I don't know, man. Like even this here. I mean, okay, this building's under construction. I guess that is understandable. If the building's under construction, then it's like, yeah, okay, that's something different. Let's head down to the waterfront. Can I walk along the waterfront? I don't know if there's a pedestrian walkway that goes all along it, but if there is, then let's take that. Spichlerna? Is that like Speicher? Like the Speicherstadt in Hamburg? boats. Let's see, let's grab a look at these boats here. It's a bit funny now that I think about it. The name of the Polish city Łódź, where I was yesterday, which I've mentioned several times now, literally means boat. Like the actual literal name of the city name, or the literal meaning of the city name is boat. But there are actually probably a lot more boats here than in Łódź. So there's kind of a very basic overview of the city. I mean, you have that river Brda, which flows through the city. And this part down here, which is obviously where the most tourist activities focus, well, there is an island to the west. Actually, I should probably go to that island to the west. That seems like a good idea. But where I am here, that's this area, which is obviously where the most tourist activity in the city is confined. Let's take a little stroll here along the water, and then, wow, what is that back there? That looks almost like it might be an amusement park or something. It looks almost like a ride at an amusement park. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe it's just a bridge. That could be a bridge going over the river. That's probably more likely what it is, because that would be around where the river is, I guess. And this big glass building looks pretty nice, but I guess it's just a bank because it says M Bank on it. Bank. Tasty. Glass is actually being deprecated now as a construction material because it's not environmentally friendly. It looks nice. A lot of buildings are made of glass because it's visually impressive and appealing, but it's not green. Like I think it contributes negatively to the climate change problem. So architects are now being encouraged to avoid glass in construction, but it still looks nice. Another nice church back there. Poland remains one of the most religious countries in Europe, and so their churches are still pretty important, not only architecturally but also culturally. Although I think that's changing, as it is in much of Europe. Even in some of the least religious countries, like even in the Nordic countries like Sweden and Norway, which are among the least religious countries in the world, actually, I think, their churches are still important architecturally, even if people there aren't really very religious. So yeah. There across the river, there appears to be some kind of, is that a dance party, or is that just... I thought at first that it was a restaurant, but actually it's not. It doesn't look like they're serving food. It looks more like some kind of... Or maybe it is. I don't know. Who knows? Oh, people are dancing after all. Oh, is this... Is that a talent show? That actually... I think I saw a sign somewhere yesterday for some kind of talent agents. They want to find young people who can sing and dance and act because they're recruiting talent for whatever. I don't know if it's for... I guess for whatever you might need that kind of talent for concerts or movies or whatever. Oh, this is nice now. This is... Okay, this is taking it in a pretty different direction, but this is now a nice little nature area with the associated trees and things that you... Okay. This... Am I gonna... I'm gonna get across this without getting my shoes all wet. I don't have good walking shoes on, actually. These are not really, they're not bad, but they're not great for walking through wet areas. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Some stairs leading up there to a street, or we can just walk under this bridge. Under the bridge of time, I filmed a video. Yeah, sorry, I should sing less in my videos. If I wanted to sing, I should go to where they're having that talent show and make an appearance there. Bydgoszcz's Got Talent. Bydgoszcz sucht den Superstar. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking this. This is, I mean, it's pretty usual. This is fairly typical for what you see in riverside places when there's a nice little walkway beside a river going to probably no particular place special, just for people who want to walk along the water. Oh, these gentlemen are actually fishing here. I guess there must be fish in this river because two gentlemen there are actually, or actually, I don't know if they're fishing or maybe he's doing something else. I don't know. Okay. All right, I could keep walking here, but I think the rest of it looks kind of like more of the same. Wow, I like those buildings. That sort of building with the white pillars on it there, and then next to it there's this sort of a... That's cool. I like that. Okay. Okay. There's a magpie there. Looking for something shiny. Actually, scientifically, I think it's been found that magpies are not actually attracted to shiny things, that's a myth, and they're actually not, if anything, they're wary of shiny objects because they might be a threat, but still the popular sort of myth about them continues, that they're attracted to shiny things because people tend to believe what they, whatever they believe. Okay, I'm going to head back that way. So I'm kind of east of the old town now, so I'm going to go back that way because that way is west. I'm going to go back west and see if I can get onto that little island, because there is actually a little kind of green island to the left, to the west of the old town. So let's see if I can get over there and check out what's happening there. Okay, so here I am back at the at this bridge over the river, and I just realized that this is a square. I guess that's like a square in the sense of like a plaza, but I just find it funny that the Polish word for that is square, and that's the Dom Polski, the Polish house. Okay, so I am back here. I'm still on the south side of the river. So if I come this way, oh, hey, wow, awesome. So this appears to be one of those little public bookshelves where people can just leave old books that they want to get rid of, and then other people can take the books. And doesn't have a lot of books in it. There's one about pomoc w nagłych wypadkach u dzieci. Something about children. I know dzieci means children, but I don't know the rest. But the way it's built like this into the side of an old barrel, that's actually really awesome. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, these gardens are nice. I mean, they have nice, lovely roses. Are those roses? They must be roses, right? I'm actually not good with flowers, but I assume these are probably, or maybe they're not. Actually, they might be something else. I don't know. I assumed they were roses, but I could be wrong. Actually, I'm now thinking they might be something else, but I don't know what. So I'm on the south side of the river, heading west, wanting to see if I can find that little island, which can't be that far away. can't be too terribly far. But where is it? Actually, that might be the start of it there. To the left of this gap here, this thing might be the start of that island. Let's see, how do we get down there then? I might have to walk around, because this area is all blocked off with these hedges. I mean, I could go charging through these hedges, but I think, I could go down there, but I think that's just, I think that just goes to the water. I don't think there's a pathway there that you're supposed to be able to walk on. Oh, and this is a boulevard, I guess a boulevard. And yeah, here they have a kind of a dam or a system of river locks or whatever. Some very old sticker with an angel on it. Alright, let's see now. There's no passage through here. It's fenced off. I guess it's probably a private property. Okay, then let's head up here. Wchodzi adwokatem bydgoskim ofiarom wojny światowej. Again, something about World War II. I don't know what. There's no translation into any other language. But the years 1939 to 1945 make it very clear what it is about. Let's see. So I guess this is probably a government building. That red sign there. Usually government buildings are marked with a red sign like that to indicate what they are, so that if you're looking for a particular government bureau, you know where to go. Ooh, this is a narrow street, and there's a car coming. Alright, let's see, so, okay, so I should be able to walk across this bridge here. That should be possible to do, and then end up over there. Sounds like a plan, seems viable. So here we have the Urzęd Miasta Bydgoszcz, so I guess the city administration of Bydgoszcz, for people who want to, just like the city hall or just city offices where people need random municipal services. I don't know. Wyspa Młyńska. Hey, this pigeon's just chilling out here on the bridge, just doing nothing in particular. Hey, pigeon. What are you doing, pigeon? Are you acting as a multi-protocol chat client? He's not, wow, he didn't even fly away when I walked past him. I didn't want to disturb him, but he's really not too perturbed by, or could just as easily be a female. He or she is not too perturbed by people getting close. Muzeum Okręgowe, Galeria Sztuki Nowoczesnej. Nowoczesny, some kind of art gallery. All right, so I'm thinking it's likely that. Am I on the island now already? I might be. This might already be that island. Let's see if I get close to the river again. Actually, hold on. Can I cut through here? Looks like there's a little alleyway through these, between these buildings here. So actually, let's just come down here. Ooh, nice. He's nice. Okay, so, tutaj mi nie wolno. Don't bring me into a war? Yeah, the use of dogs in warfare is unethical. Actually, war is wojna, not wolno. I don't know what wolno is. Maybe it means the river. No, that's Volga. I have no idea. So there's a... actually... This is an uncommonly large building in the half-timbered style, and actually I'm not sure if it's actually half-timbered. That might be steel or some other kind of metal, or is that actually, I don't know, I can't tell if it's wood from here. I have a feeling it might be a building made to look in that style, but not actually half-timbered. Alright, let's see what's over here. I think this is the island. Probably. Unless that's it over there. No, because that's attached. Yeah, that landmass is attached to the side of the bridge over there, so that's attached to the mainland, I think. Okay, so this probably is the island, I assume. Wow, it stinks here. It smells like water that's not clean, which it probably isn't, considering there's this white kind of scum floating on it. Can you walk? I guess you can walk on this. Yeah, it is walkable, onable. Okay, let's give it. I mean, there are benches here, so obviously it's made to be walked on. Okay, let's walk on this. Wow, it doesn't feel very secure here, especially because you can see there's water slopping up between these boards. But actually, there are these workers here. I'll just turn around. Obviously, these boards are made to be walked on, but it somehow don't feel very secure walking on them. Okay, I guess that's it. Let me just walk to the top of that hill there, and maybe just as a final shot, get a shot from the top of that little ramp or whatever. Bydgoszcz zmienia się dla siebie. No idea what that means. Siebie means like self or yourself in Russian, but I have no idea if it has the same meaning or a similar meaning in Polish. Yeah, I won't be able to walk to that building anyway because it's obviously fenced off here due to construction. Looks like it's still being built. But if I look at, actually it looks like that really is wood. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know how well it shows up on the video, but it really does look like it has natural grain and splits in it like wood would have. So it actually looks like it is a timbered building. Wow, that's a huge, that might be the biggest half-timbered building I've ever seen. All right, let's walk up these stairs here. This is obviously, these are benches for people to sit on. So I guess this is like a little stage if people want to perform here or something. Have a theatrical production or maybe a musical performance or something. People can sit here and watch watch the performance. But let's see, can I? Oh, I probably shouldn't. I was going to say, can I step on this? I probably shouldn't because these look like plants that have been painstakingly. Actually, no, they don't. These are just weeds growing here, I think, aren't they? What's with this black stuff? There's some reason why this black stuff is here. I think it's something to do with the soil. I don't think I should. These black little pipes or whatever, they must serve some purpose. I don't think I'm supposed to walk on them, so I won't. I could actually walk between them, but I don't know if I'm supposed to. I'll go ahead and give it a try. Let's see, so step here, and I'll step up here, and there we go. All right. There we go. This makes a nice closing shot at the top of this hill there. So yeah, this is Bydgoszcz. A nice city. It has a really nice center. Like this center is very small. Like you can walk across the whole thing in just a few minutes. It's super small, but it's nice. And the rest of it is not as nice. I mean, it's just a city. It's just shops and things for locals. There's not really much to see there, but what there is here is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm sorry if I've made some negative comments. I hope I didn't upset anyone with things that I've said about certain things, but yeah. Greetings everyone from Bydgoszcz. I will go ahead and sign out.